Hi guys, so we are here for the Wednesday reading. Just going to pop in quickly and I'm going to be using my new, what is it called, Tarot Grand Lux. I always want to call it Grand Lux Tarot Grand Lux. Let me just show you because I keep getting it wrong. Alright, so we're just going to quickly have a look here at what the Wednesday reading is. I'm not going to go too in depth. I'm just popping in midweek because I think we got a very important message on Monday, very relevant as well for how we can kind of cope and navigate through the week. If you're wondering why I'm dressed like this, it's because it's freezing cold here where I am. People don't realize that it does happen in Africa, and yeah, it gets pretty cold. So I hope you can all hear me fine. Here we go. So I just want to know what the most important message is for us today, midweek. If there's anything that we need to know or be aware of, that our attention must be drawn to. Sorry, that's not 5 cards. Being tested here. The Hermit. Okay, when we see the Hermit, he talks about shedding light on things, and this is often on a spiritual level, okay, on a spiritual basis. He is about wisdom, gaining knowledge, and the Hermit has kind of kept to himself. It's somebody who may have been withdrawn or has drawn within themselves to gain knowledge, and that this knowledge comes through, this wisdom comes through. Okay, it's also things from the past that we sometimes need to deal with, or people that come into our lives from the past. These are past lessons that can teach us things. We did have this coming up earlier in the week. I also feel as if this is about us taking a fresh look at the things that we're busy doing, the relationships that we're in, the work relationships and personal relationships as well, and having a look at the past and seeing what can we learn and what new paths can we cut forward for ourselves. What can we humble ourselves with and say, you know what, I learned this about myself that maybe I didn't like about myself, things that I need to reassess, maybe insecurities that I have about something that I'm projecting on somebody else. What have I learned? If I reflect back and I'm honest with myself, what wisdom have I attained? How have I grown and matured emotionally and spiritually? And if I haven't, where do I need to make these improvements? When I look at his face in this particular context, I mean, every time I look at a card, it looks different to me, and I can do 10 readings a day and with the same card and they'll come up differently. But I see him and he's like looking back and going, I could have done that differently. I won't do that again. This is what I see when I see him in this particular deck. He's like, that was a bad choice. Let me rectify that. Let me do something different going forward. Let me change the path, make a different choice. Okay, let's see what else we get. What else for this midweek reading, please? Oh, 5 of coins. This is kind of the same theme. The 5 of coins is about feeling loss or a sense of endarkenment or a sense of also withdrawal, even when there are opportunities and people being kind to us, and you know, we kind of see the glass half empty. And this, with this particular deck here, I see this hand extending as if saying, I need to extend a bit more, I need to give a bit more, I need to contribute a bit more. And this is not just financially or whatever the case is. I feel as if this is extending yourself in other ways. Because when we see this card, normally, Five of Coins is about um, not seeing that there are people that support us, not seeing that there is another way forward or that there are opportunities. We are like horses with flaps on. When we're only seeing the negative, we're not seeing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel or that there is a different way of doing things. And we can be a little bit stubborn when this happens as well. So when this comes up, especially with this card with the hand extended, I kind of feel like that's peanut, if anybody's not wondering what is going on there. This is like, instead of feeling like I'm in a victim mentality or feeling sorry for myself or feeling this complete sense of loss and despair, what can I do to change it, and what can I do for others where I can bring joy to somebody else who might be feeling the same way? Maybe that's something that you need to do this week. Giving and extending yourself and just doing something kind for somebody can change your demeanor completely, especially if you're feeling down. A lot of people have said to me in the past as well, Shereen, if I do something kind for somebody else, it suddenly makes me feel better. I feel like I've accomplished something. I feel like I'm giving, and that actually lifts my mood. So maybe that's what you need to do. Okay. One more. Sorry guys, I've cleaned the screen. I've done everything today. It just looks like this is a blurry Judgment card. Okay, so beautiful. She reminds me of a Valkyrie. If you don't know what a Valkyrie is in Norse mythology, if any of you have watched Thor, or you've watched what's the other one? Vikings, you should know what a Valkyrie is. They are the messengers of Freya, and they come and resurrect anyone who's died honorably in battle, and they resurrect you. So this is what the Judgment card is about as well. It's about resurrection. It's about being able to resurrect something or revive something that has died down, like a relationship or something where you've given up on a project, or anything like that can be revived and resurrected. It's a beautiful card, and it often also says to us that there is some kind of calling that you have. So it could be a spiritual calling or a call of duty. Maybe you're called to help somebody. Maybe you are the person who needs to change the way you dealt with other people in the past and lend a helping hand. But it's about resurrecting something, and maybe this is about reviving an old project or reviving a relationship or a friendship. Okay, but it's about resurrection and about also it's about karma playing out as well. If something has died down or its cycle is completed and it didn't end fairly, a lot of the time the Judgment card can bring that back into balance as well. I do feel like this is about bringing things from the past up as well. I think a lot of us are dealing with this. We're dealing with dreams that we're having about other people. We're having people from the past come back into our lives and make contact with us. There's all sorts of these kind of things happening, and I feel as if you need to deal with the ghosts of the past. You need to close chapters, you need to close doors to things, and you need to open doors to other things and new pathways. And you need to say, what have I learned from this? You've got to be in this hermit energy and have gained that wisdom. Okay, and you need to be very deliberate in doing that. You need to be cognizant of the fact that you need to grow spiritually. You need to mature emotionally and spiritually. The days of being emotionally and spiritually immature have not served you. So see where you can make those changes, okay? See where you can extend yourself instead of being in a victim mentality and thinking, poor me, life's so hard, I'm unfairly treated, everybody's out to get me. What can I do to contribute? And let me do it from a 100% place of love, not so that it only serves me or serves a specific group of people or just me and my partner. How can I really do something that is an act of love without it being out of balance. Sometimes we can do something and say, well, I think that we should do this and we should act, or we should start this petition, or go and speak on someone's behalf, but we're only taking from our point of view. We need to be very careful to not do that, because then we tip the scales in the opposite direction. Okay, so if you feel like you're unfairly treated, for instance, and you just get revenge on that person, it's a case of two wrongs don't make a right. So we need to keep that balance, and we need to make sure that we bring things back into balance here. We bring things up for healing, not just to dig up old bones and start the cycle again, and just actually perpetuate a cycle of disagreement or discord, or things that again will have to come up for this judgment. Okay. I want to say that old saying of if you don't want to be judged, don't judge somebody else. And if you find yourself judging because you feel judged, know that that is also not the way to do things. Okay, there needs to be this unconditional love and this giving of yourself to an extent, without saying, well, I'm going to give to that person but not to that person because I don't like what they do or who they are or what they believe in. That's not coming from a place of love. That is just as bad as being the person who's, judged you in the first place. So we need to look at that. And whatever situation this is, if you were unfairly treated or someone else was unfairly treated, or this is something from a past relationship where you really felt hurt, getting revenge for it is not always the way to do things. Sometimes we need to look at ourselves as well and say, how am I dealing with this? Am I coming from a wholesome place when I do deal with this? Okay, so this is quite a deep reading. Yeah. And he's definitely saying, really, is that was that the right thing to do? Did you handle it in the best way you could have? It might have felt right at the time, but is it ultimately for the highest good of everybody? Or is it only for the highest good of yourself, or the highest good of your immediate family, or just you and your partner? Or is it for the highest good of everybody involved? Are you coming from the right place? Are you shedding light on the right things? It's about being unbiased with whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, and not just worrying about yourself. Okay, extend that hand out. And it needs to be for everybody, not a select bunch of people, because as difficult as that is, and it is difficult, that is when we are really coming from a wholesome place. Okay, that was quite an interesting reading. Yeah, this is about cutting new paths forward. Very, very interesting and very important. Okay, I'm glad I did this reading today. I wish you all a lovely week further, and I'll chat to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.